A fisherman's kindness wins the favor of a river spirit, but when his envious neighbor attempts to steal the same blessing, the river's fury reveals a lesson more valuable than gold. Once upon a time, in a serene village, nestled between lonely green hills and a shimmering river, lived a humble fisherman named Metu. Every morning, he would walk to the river bank, casting his net into the water with quiet hope. Metu was not rich, but he was content, for he cherished the rhyme of the river and the songs of the birds that perched nearby. One fateful day, as the sun painted the sky with shades of gold and rose, Metu heard a faint distress cry from the water. Startled, he leaned over and discovered a small, glistening figure trapped between reeds. A river spirit, no taller than his arm, with scales that shimmered like liquid silver and eyes that narrowed the deep blue of the river. "Please, kind fisherman, help me," the river spirit pleaded, her voice soft as the ripple of the current. Without hesitation, Metu waded into the river and gently freed her. She looked up at him, gratitude brimming in her sapphire eyes. "Thank you for your kindness. In return, I grant you a blessing. Cast your nets tomorrow at dawn and you will be rewarded." The next morning, Metu did as the spirit instructed. To his astonishment, when he pulled in his net, it was filled not with fish but with jewels that caught the first rays of sunlight and glowed like stars. His modest heart sparkled with a wealth he had never dared to dream of. But Metu did not grow greedy. He shared his fortune with the villagers, repairing homes, feeding the hungry, and giving work to those in need. Word of Metu's sudden prosperity reached Pablo, his envious neighbor. Pablo, who had always eyed Metu's humble success with disdain, now burned with curiosity and greed. He approached Metu with a sly smile. "Tell me, friend, how did you come by such fortune? Surely you must share your secret." Metu, ever kind and glueless, spoke of the river spirit and how she had blessed him for an act of kindness. Pablo's eyes gleamed with avarice, and he hurriedly concocted a plan. The next morning, before the sun had risen, he made his way to the river bank and called out, "O great spirit of the river, I too am a humble fisherman. Won't you bless me as you did my neighbor?" But the river was silent, its waters moving calmly as if unaware of Pablo's presence. Impatient Pablo scoured the river until he spotted a small silver fish glistening near the reeds. Convinced it was the spirit, he lunged forward, capturing it in his rough hands. The fish waggled and gasped, and from its mouth came a weak, frightened voice. "Release me, and you shall be rewarded." Pablo, cunning and skeptical, laughed. "Not until I receive my share of jewels," he demanded. The fish's eyes darkened, and with a final desperate wriggle, it vanished, slipping through Pablo's grips. The water around him rippled and crunched, growing colder and wider. Out of the river rose a tall, imposing figure with scales of dark jade and eyes as sharp as the winter sea. "You who lack kindness, dare to command me?" The true river spirit boomed with a swing of her arms. A wave surged and engulfed Pablo, dragging him deep beneath the waters. He struggled, her heart pounding, but no matter how hard he fought, the current held him fast. When he was released, he stumbled back onto the shore, coughing and drenched but alive. To his horror, his hands clutched not spears or grim but slippery river stones. The village awoke to the noise, and its people gathered to witness Pablo's shame. Metu, seeing his neighbor's humble state, approached with compassion. "Greed turns gifts into burden, my friend," he said softly, placing a warm hand on Pablo's shoulder. Pablo's face flushed with guilt, and in that moment, he saw the true worth of Metu's heart, a richness that jewels could never buy. The villagers who had been helped by Metu's generosity murmured in agreement. Humbled and ashamed, Pablo vowed to change his ways. He began to mend broken nets, repair old boats, and offer his help to anyone who needed it. Over time, Pablo's deeds spoke louder than his earlier greed, and the river, recognizing the sincerity of his transformation, allowed him to prosper, though never with jewels but with bountiful catches, and the laughter of friends at his heart. Metu, watching from his hut, smiled, knowing that the river's true gift was not wealth but wisdom and kindness shared among neighbors. And so the village flourished, not because of glittery jewels or sudden miracles, but through the quiet shared act of kindness that bound the community together like a woven net, strong, enduring, and full of hope. As the years passed, Metu became known as the wise elder of the village. His hair turned the color of river mist, and his voice grew gentle, yet strong like the current he had always loved. He would often sit by the river bank, surrounded by children who begged to hear the story of the river spirit and how her kindness brought true wealth. Pablo, now Metu's steadfast friend, had become a man of integrity, known for his unwavering dedication to the well-being of the village. Where once there had been envy in his eyes, now there was gratitude and humility. He had found peace in the rhyme of the simple life he shared with his neighbor. He told the tale of his downfall to any who would listen, a living reminder that greed led only to cold, empty waters. One day, as Metu cast his eyes across the water, he noticed a group of strangers arriving in the village. They were traders from far off lands, their wagons brimming with goods never before seen, sick of deep blues, spice that perfumed the air, and strange, intricate tinkle that glinted like the stars. The villagers, curious and excited, gathered around, eager to trade. Metu approached one of the traders, and one old man with eyes as sharp as the edge of a river stone. The trader looked at Metu's humble clothing and scoffed. What could a simple fisherman offer in exchange for such treasures? Metu only smiled. "I have no need of what you bring," he replied. "The river has given me all I need." The old man's expression shifted from disdain to puzzlement, and then a grudging respect. The traders soon learned that this village was rich in its own way, rich in stories, shared laughter, and a kindness that left them longing to stay longer. One evening, as the sun dipped low and the sky blushed with the color of dusk, the river spirit appeared to Metu once more. She stood at the edge of the water, her silvering form glowing softly. The villagers who had gathered to watch gasped and stepped back in awe. Metu walked towards her, his heart swelling with a familiar warmth. "Old friend," the river spirit said, her voice like the song of the current, "your kindness has rippled far beyond this river, touching more lives than you know. For this I offer one last gift, but it's not for you only. It is for all who have shared in your heart's wet." With a graceful motion, she knelt and touched the water's surface. A shimmer spread across the river, and from its depths rose a bridge of glittering stones, connecting the village to the other side. On the far bank, luge fields bloomed with crops that would feed the villagers for generations. Cheers erupted, and children dashed to the bridge, their laughter ringing through the air. Tears pricked Metu's eyes as he turned to the river spirit. "Thank you," he whispered, "but it was never just me. This village thrived because we chose kindness together." The river spirit nodded, her smile as bright as the morning light. "Indeed, Metu. Remember that the river's gifts are meant to be shared, flowing like the water that connects all things." With that, she faded into the rippling current, leaving behind a village forever changed. Pablo stood beside Metu, his gaze fixed on the bridge, where the villagers marveled at their new gift. "She's right, you know," Pablo said, his voice soft with awe. "The greatest riches are those we share." Metu chunk and wrapped an arm around his friend's shoulder. "Come, Pablo, let's cross this bridge together." And as they walked together towards the far side, the village behind them echoed with songs of joy, the river singing in harmony with its people. From that day forward, the river was not only a source of life but a reminder of the profound lesson it has taught. Generations spoke of Metu and Pablo, the fisherman and the neighbor who learned that true prosperity is not measured by what we gain, but by what we give. And so as the river flowed on, so too did the spirit of kindness that bonds the village as one.